Shai Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God. Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakach Badash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I'm your brother Rabbi Knapp, coming up with a lesson. Your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying to the Lord's elect. It's a little windy today, so we're gonna have to make it work. We're gonna make it work, man. I thank the Lord for allowing me to come out here and do another video. And pretty much prophesying the downfall of this place, man. The place you call home, America. Prophesying the downfall of this place, man. Because it's wicked, it's corrupt. And that's just what needs to be done to this place, man. Ultimately, what I'm crying about is we need a new rulership. We need Yahweh Shai. That's what we actually need. Okay, we need the Lord. We don't need another king. We don't need someone else to come up in rulership and try to do it better than the last man. No, we need the Lord, man. That's 100%. All right, as a matter of fact, let's start in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter. Start right there. Let's start at the top of Amos. Amos chapter 9, verse 1. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he says, smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. So he gonna smite the lintel. Okay, the lintel is what holds up this place, man. He gonna smite that shit. Okay? And then you're gonna run, you're gonna try to escape, and the Lord's gonna come and get you with the sword. So there's really no, ultimately it's describing judgment. So there's really no getting away from the Lord's judgment. All right, you're gonna smite the lintel. Whatever holds this place up, you know what holds this place up. The Edomites hold this place up, so they need to get smitten. Okay, that's old English, to be struck with force, with a blunt blow, or to be judged to be struck. Okay. Amos 9 verse 2. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, then will I bring them down. So they're digging into hell. You think they're going to be digging into where it's a fiery pit? Or do you think that word hell means something else? Hell actually means the grave in that instance. You might not believe it, but that's what it means. Okay? He's not talking about digging into some Greek mythological place. Okay? The Greeks believed in a lot of folly and bull crap. Okay? The Greeks didn't believe in one true God. They believe in multiple gods, a pantheon of gods. Okay, and that's what you see with Esau. That's why he'll tell you there's 3 in 1. Like that makes sense. But in his warped mind, that makes sense to him, and it makes sense to you people because you're warped minded. You'll never come to the conclusion that the word Trinity is not even in the Bible. So what the hell is this devil talking about? So they're going to dig into hell because the Lord's coming for judgment. They're going to try to escape judgment. That was talking about the northern kingdom at the time, but you know, Amos was prophesying to the northern kingdom, but at the same time, what are they doing? They're going to do this again in this time. The elites of this wicked-ass society, they're going to try to escape the Lord's judgment. Okay, just like it tells you in Revelation, the 6th chapter, let the rocks fall upon us and hide us from the Lamb. That's who they're actually scared. They're scared of the Lord, man. They're scared of the Lord. But it doesn't matter what they do, the Lord's going to get their ass. Though they dig into hell, meaning though they go down into these underground bunkers, these deep underground military bunkers, which is the acronym for dumb, and that's how spiritual it is. It actually says it's dumb. A deep underground military bunker. So Lord's showing you how stupid you actually are. You think you could get away from the Lord's judgment. It's not possible, man. It's not possible. Now, this is talking about the wicked elite, of course. A lot of y'all ain't got, you know, military bunkers you can hide in. Salakia, my post is a little loose. You know, you guys don't got military bunkers you're gonna hide in, so your best bet is just repent, man. Those bunkers, it don't even matter. If you got a bunker here in America, that's where you're gonna die at. That's call that your sepulcher. That's where you're gonna die at, man. These thermonuclear missiles that are coming here got the capability to get to, all this land that you walk upon every single day is gonna be destroyed. Okay, and nobody want to talk about that. That's what I want to talk about. It's the book of Amos, 9 verse 2. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. So they're gonna climb up to heaven. They're gonna try to be when these missiles come hit this place, they're gonna try to escape it by going up in the sky. Okay, but that's not. He said, then will I bring them down. He's gonna bring their asses down, man. Because the Lord's coming, and there's no escaping him. He tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes 23, I believe. Let me grab it. That the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So he sees everything, man. You can't hide from the Lord. And that's what's wrong with the wicked. The wicked think they can have secret counsels that the Lord doesn't know about. They probably go deep underground. You got to leave your phone outside the door. You got to put a mask on. You got to go down a deep dungeon in the dark with no light. And then I'll tell you in secret, deep, with no technology down there. And the Lord is down there listening. Okay? So there's no hiding any counsels from the Lord. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 23, verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret part. So he considereth all the ways of men. I'm getting a lot of comments. Let's see the comments. It says, hey, hello, I speak English. Hey, good afternoon. Hi. Hey man, sup? Hello. Hi, bro. Follow. Foolishness. Childish. Go play some with little kids. I'm busy. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 15. And the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. So they're going to try to hide in the mountains too. So they hid themselves in the dens and the rocks of the mountains. And said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So he knows it ain't going to be him. That's why he's trying to escape this place. But does that mean leave? No. That means you got to endure. You got to repent. That's the only way you can make it. Ultimately, you got to be predestinated. And not everybody's predestinated. Revelation 16, verse 14, for they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. Exactly what she's talking about. Armageddon, the valley of Jehoshaphat, where all these military capable countries are going to gather together. They're going to muster together, and they're going to go to war with each other. And in the height of that, the Lord's going to return, and he's going to destroy all of these militaries, and he's going to save all of his elect, and then all the sinners shall die by the sword. Sucks to be y'all out there. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 3. As though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel. As though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, Thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. He's gonna bite them, Papa. He's gonna bite them. How you doing today? How you doing, sir? It's good. So they're gonna try to hide in the sea. But the Lord said he's gonna send a serpent to bite them. And what serpent is the Lord talking about?
Yo soy serpent.
He's talking about
Serpent.
Leviathan.
Yo soy serpent.
Leviathan.
Yo soy serpent.
Let's go there. Let's go to the book of Job. Let's find him. Let's see what snake he's talking about. Let's see what snake he's talking about.
One moment, okay?
This book of Job, chapter 40. Job 41, verse number 1. It says, canst thou draw up Leviathan with a hook, for his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down? And Leviathan is a big monster, man. Okay? Leviathan is like Godzilla. And I don't even think Godzilla gives it I don't even think that's what this beast actually looks like, man. And the Lord just kept him hid. And Esau's gonna run into this creature. Okay, something that's been in the water a long time, man. These reptiles, they live a long time. So he's gonna have to see face to face with Leviathan. And he's gonna bite him. Okay. Canst thou put a hook into his nose or bore his jaw through with a wound with a thorn? Can you do that? No, you can't. You can't control him. This is not the type of beast that's capable of being controlled. The Lord's controlling this beast. Job 41, verse 3, will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Yeah, will he plead with you, Esau? I think not. Beg you to leave? No. Job 41:4, will he make a covenant with thee? Will thou take him for a servant forever? Yeah, well, can you do that to Leviathan, Esau? We know he likes to put things into captivity. You gonna put it in the zoo and try to make money off of it? It's not gonna work. Job 41 verse 5, will thou play with him as with a bird? Or will thou bind him for thy maidens? Yeah, you gonna bind him for your maidens? You gonna play with him like he's a bird? No, it's not gonna happen, man. Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Yes, shall they part him among the merchants? You watch movies, you try to sell them. Shall we part him among the merchants? Let's grab that as a matter of fact. Because that's what Esau would do if he found a new creature, newly created creature. He would try to make money off of it, tame it, see if he can make some type of medication or something, you know, whatever he could use his body for. Put its skeleton into the museum so you can look at it, so you can get paid off of it. That's Esau for you, man. Let me grab this real quick. In Job 41, in verse number 5. Job 41, verse 5. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. The whole chapter is about Leviathan. We know that. Will thou play with him as the bird? Or will thou bind him for thy maidens? Can you tie him up and give him to your daughters as a harmless toy, like a little pet, like you did with you Negroes, like a gift? Okay. Let's talk about Leviathan. There was a scene in the Jurassic Park trailer. It's this little girl. She's playing with a little dinosaur, and she goes, "Daddy, can I take him home with me?" That's what the little white girls were saying when they brought you so-called Negroes over there. They're like, Can I take him home with me? Like a little pet, man. You were like a pet for that's why they look at you like that, man. I was just watching the video. They were hanging a Jake. It's a picture. It's a postcard. You know, they were sharing these type of posts. This is how Edomites share things with each other. They like take pictures of dead black people and send it to each other as gifts on Christmas Day. You know, look what I did. Merry Christmas, honey. With your shits, you up in a tree like this with your neck broke, and they're sending that to little kids for presents, and they get happy when they see that. They're like with joy. So these people are perverse, man. These are the same people that rule today. That's why they lack understanding. This nigga Duck just robbed a huge Venezuelan oil tanker in the Caribbean a couple of days ago, and when you read the newspaper, he said he seized it. You mean you stole it, nigga? You damn nigga. You stole that shit. You sending the military in there. You should see them. They come in with the helicopter, they jump down, they got goggles on, they got M16s, then army fatigue, they going in there. Then they come back to America. He puts a little piece of gold on their chest and says, thank you for your service. That little piece of gold, man, I would pawn that shit, man. Thank you for robbing him and making me over 200 million. So he said, I looked it up. It said an oil tanker can range anywhere from 100 million to 200 million dollars. And he said this is the largest oil tanker ever seized in history. So you do the math. That it's probably 400 million he just came up. They asked him, what are you gonna do with it? He said, I don't know, keep it. That's called piracy. That's being a pirate. But meanwhile, he's telling you Somalians, you gotta go. What about you? Your ass gotta go, man. Damn devils out there. People, and Gunther Eagleman from on X, if you ever watch I watch him. He's a far right dumbass. But I like to hear, he's so far right, it gives me some insight of what's going on in that world over there. The world of the Republicans. I'm waiting for them to grab their guns and start going around killing all of y'all. So I know Isaiah 19 and I believe it's 2 was true. I'm waiting for him to do what he gotta do. I'm waiting for him to fulfill prophecy. I wouldn't be surprised if I hear about Gunther getting gunned down. It's like somebody else we know who was talking about gun rights and all that and got popped. Okay? So we'll see what's gonna happen to him. But the fact of the matter is all these things are happening and it needs to come to an end, man. And it's coming to an end because Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. All right? But back into Leviathan, they're gonna try to escape this judgment. These elites, they're gonna try to run, they're gonna try to hide, and the Lord's gonna get them wherever they're at. And the ones who do escape the judgment, quote unquote, they're going into slavery because the elites, they know what I'm talking about. They know I know what I'm talking about, and they know that they got a plan B, and they know, yes, it's true. We are going into slavery. They know it. Right? But we tend to not talk about Leviathan, and today we are. We're going to talk about Leviathan today. How you doing today? You have a wonderful day. I'm doing great. Good to see you too. You know, we're going to talk about Leviathan. It's the book of Job 41. And it says, will thou play with him as with a bird, or will thou bind him for thy maidens? Yeah, you bind him for your maidens like you did you Jakes. As a matter of fact, let me grab this in the book of Joel. Let me go grab this in the book of Joel, chapter 3. Bunch of gifts. That's what Esau, he would try to do that with Leviathan, but he can't. Can't put a hook. He put a bird cage over this, the movie I'm thinking about, he put a bird cage over a little black kid's head. The little white girl's playing with him like he was a toy. Oh man, these devils got a lot to pay for, man. They do. Oh, nobody wants to listen now. Good. I'm trying to get rid of some of you subscribers, man. Lord's will. Maybe the Lord won't cut you up some more, because your ass is going into slavery. And that's good. That's what you get. You're gonna get punished. Lord's will, you get to be on my plantation. Lord's will. Joel chapter 3 and verse number 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. So you sold us to the Grecians. As a matter of fact, I should start up a little bit. Joel 3 verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. So that's what they did. Sold a boy for a harlot. Esau like little boys. So you can imagine what we had to go through coming to the Sodomite nation. A bunch of homosexuals being enslaved to these nasty people. And you wonder why they gotta go. Because they got sins they gotta pay for in their past life. Now they're back over here, and now they're raging, flaming homosexuals. They're gonna get burnt up. Okay? Then it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is what the Bible says. Okay, you can read Leviticus 20th chapter for yourself. Okay. Their blood shall be upon them. Yea, and what they have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine, will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. So the Lord's not taking a payout for what you did to the children of Israel, you heathen. Tyre and Zidon, you Hamite nations. Okay? So this is going into history. It's prophetically talking about how during the transatlantic slave trade, you Hamites helped sell the Israelites to the Grecians, Edomites. Okay. Joel chapter 3 and verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Yeah, you've taken my silver and my gold. Okay. Ultimately, you know, that also is talking about us, man, as a people. We're silver and gold, man. We're like silver and gold to the Lord. And you took that. We're the Lord's inheritance. Okay? And it says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold into the Grecians. Have ye sold into the Grecians. Tyre, Zidons, you Palestinians, you Philistinians, I should say. Not the modern day Palestinians, those are Arabs, but we were in slavery to them too. I saw somebody do a TikTok saying how the transatlantic slave trade wasn't the worst slave trade. There was other slave trades, more slaves, longer slaves, and things like that. But what he forgets to mention is that they enslaved the children of Israel. And that's the problem. And the worst thing about the transatlantic slave trade is that you fulfill Jeremiah 17:4. Discontinuing a people from their heritage. Discontinuing a people from who they were originally. That's a sin that's worse than anything you could do to a person. And that's what happens. This is what Esau does, where he'll kidnap you, put you into a basement for 20 years before you forget who you are. You'll think he's your friend. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. And that's what the nation of Israel is dealing with here. They think this nigga's his friend, their friend. Well, guess what? Your friend gonna die, man. Your friend gonna go into slavery. You're gonna get beat up too. You're gonna get hurt. Look at Joel chapter 3. But what I'm talking about here. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold them to the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. So that's the point. You can't do that with Leviathan though. Okay, you're gonna be hiding. You're probably gonna expect something, but Leviathan, as we keep going, Leviathan 41. Job 41 in verse 5, will thou play with him as with a bird, or will thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? So it was actually Job 41 and 6 I was looking for. Job 41 verse 6. Part him for the merchants. Next verse. Next verse. It says, can a group of men gather together and feast on Leviathan like he's just another animal? Can you eat Leviathan? No. He used to eat us though. He had a banquet. He devoured us, man. He's a cannibal. He's a cannibal, man. You can read Delectable Negro. He did that to you, man. He did that to us. He still does it today. He still does that shit, man. This nigga's nasty. But in his mind, he has to do it because he don't have any melanin. So he think if he put it in his belly and shit it out, it'll help him. So this nigga gotta go, man. He's all types of deranged. He probably makes all types of medications with our dead bodies. All types of tannin solutions and guess what he does, man? That's what he does. So why wouldn't I, while I got the spirit in this body, press this nigga out? Of course I would, man. Anyways. It says, a banquet here means a feast, a slaughter, something you can cut up and eat with friends, like hunters celebrating a kill. Can you do that to Leviathan, Esau? I think not. I think not. And we're going to go into why I don't think you could do that. First and foremost, because the Lord is controlling him. Okay? The Lord's, if you can't, you pretty much fighting up against the Lord, man. I can't imagine. This thing gotta be humongous, man. This thing gotta be huge. They showed pictures of him. You can try to look him up online. Somebody was in, I think somewhere in the North Pole or something, and they saw something try to come up a little bit out the water, and it looked like it was something's back. It was like the back of something that was huge. And he said it wasn't even it was just the beginning of it. And it pretty much caused a tsunami, man. And who knows, man? They show you at the bottom of Chile and Argentina before it goes in down here. What's that land down there? But right in between the two, they think that's where his head is. They think that's where his head is, man. I don't know if he's that big, because that's like the size of the whole South America. That's humongous, man. To eat little Esau? I don't know. I don't think it's that big. But whatever the Lord got down there, it's big. It's big, man. It was created for vengeance. It was created for Esau. That's part of his judgment. It says, the Lord is saying, no man's crew, military unit, fishing company, or hunting party can kill Leviathan and turn him into a meal. Yeah, Esau ain't got no fishing company that can put a hook into him. He can't make a hook big enough to get Leviathan, man. Okay? It says the Lord, yeah, they're going off on Leviathan though. They think it's a spiritual, they think this is something spiritual. Okay. This is physical, man. There's an actual beast in the waters. Going back to Amos, the 9th chapter, 9-3, that serpent shall bite him. Okay? And that's what I'm talking about, man. Job chapter 41, verse 7. Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Let's see what that's talking about. Next verse. Let's see what that's talking about. This continued. It says, canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons? Meaning, can you pierce Leviathan's hide with hooks, spikes, harpoons, or iron weapons? It says the answer is no. So AI saying you can't do it, Esau. And that's what you're gonna rely on, AI generated information. So it's telling you, he's probably gonna be looking for solutions. Can I pierce him with barbed iron? And AI's gonna be like, no. What can we do to fight this beast? Nothing. Can I send a missile You can try. You can try, but it's not going to work. It says his skin is described in this chapter as impenetrable armor. And I didn't even get to that yet, but it does say that. I'm going to read what it says. It says, this shows that Leviathan is not a natural animal. He's a supernatural creature the Most High preserved for his own purposes, including judgment. No amount of earthly metal, artillery, spears, harpoons, or missiles can break through what the Lord made. That's right. Not a natural animal, he's saying. I don't know what that... The Lord created it. So I don't know what it means by it's not natural. It's definitely physical. This is what I'm trying to say. It's an actual beast. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Church?
It's church, man. It's church.
Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious. See, you like you guys walking around now.
Gotta do the best we can, man.
Exactly.
Gotta do the best we can. But you have a blessed day, my man.
You too.
It says, just like man cannot pierce Leviathan, man cannot overthrow or penetrate the plans of Yahweh, Esau's technology is useless against the Lord's power. It says, or his head with fish spears. A fish spear is a sharp weapon used to kill or capture large sea creatures. The Lord mocks the idea, can you spear Leviathan in the head like he's an ordinary fish? Of course not. Exactly. Because this is what he's going to have to deal with when he's hiding himself, man. So there's no way to escape judgment. It tells you in the book of Amos, the 5th chapter, it's like you flee from a lion and a bear met him, or you escape into a house and put your hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. That's what's going to happen to Esau. Okay? The lion is ultimately talking about Yahweh Shai. The bear is the thermonuclear missiles coming from Russia, and the serpent is Leviathan. Where are you going to go, man? Where are you going to go, Esau? Judgment is coming to you, man. It's the book of Job 41 and verse number 8. Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Lay thy hand upon him. You're not going to be able to lay your hands upon him. We keep going. None of, it says, behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? Shouldn't you be cast down even at the sight of him? You watch the movie Meg. I think it's Meg 2. She's walking in the hall. The Megalodon's just looking at her. And then he takes a bite out of that glass and cracks it. The mouth was as big as, she's in a big, huge place. This beast's mouth was so big, and it just clamped on where the hallway she was in, the whole hallway. And I believe that Leviathan is bigger than that. They probably got a whole system down there, man. They think they can be down there for 20, however many years. And that's not going to be the case, man. Okay. Job 41 in verse number 10, none is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Let's look this up, man. Let's look at this. Next verse. Next verse. If you even touch Leviathan, attempt to grapple with him, strike him or capture him, you are finished. Remember the battle. If someone actually attempted to fight Leviathan, the memory of that encounter would haunt them forever. It would be a traumatic, devastating, unforgettable event because the person would barely escape with their life, if at all. And you ain't gonna escape. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Job 41 in verse 11, who hath prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. So the Lord, everything is his, man. Okay. Job 48, verse 11. I mean 41. I don't know why I put. It says the word prevented here means to come before or to be owed something. The Lord is saying, who did something for me first that I owe them something back? No one. Okay. Job 41 and 12. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. So he's not going to hide him anymore. Next verse. I will not conceal his parts. The Lord is saying, I'm going to reveal Leviathan's body to you, his limbs, skin, scales, mouth, teeth, strength. This means the Most High wants Job to understand Leviathan is his creation. Leviathan's body is purposely designed, and Leviathan is beyond human comprehension. He said it's beyond human comprehension. Job 41 verse 13, who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Let's see what that means. Let's see what that means. Next verse. It says, discover means uncover, lift up, expose, garment. Refers to Leviathan's natural armor, his hide, scales, and outer protection. So the Most High is saying, who can peel back Leviathan's armor? Who can expose his skin? Nobody, man. So he got a thick skin. Okay, what's that second part mean? Or who can come to him with his double bridle? A bridle is something used to control an animal, placed in the mouth to steer it. A double bridle was a stronger form used for powerful horses or oxen, meaning who could walk up to Leviathan and try to put a bridle on him like he's a tame animal. No one, man. No one can do that to Leviathan, man. Try to control him. It ain't gonna work. Job 41 and 14. Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. He probably got mad teeth in his mouth, man. Teeth as big as like, big, huge teeth, man. Next verse. Let's see what it says. It says, who can open the doors of his face? The doors refer to Leviathan's mouth as jaws, the entrance of this deadly bite. The Most High is saying, who has the strength or courage to force open Leviathan's jaws? The answer is nobody. His teeth are terrible roundabout. Terrible means fearsome, terrifying, causing dread. Roundabout refers to the entire row of teeth, or full circle rows of sharp, deadly fangs. And that's just like how it is when you look at a like a shark or something. They got those teeth, man. Those some of these fish, they got mad teeth, man. You can only imagine what Leviathan got in his mouth, man. You know, it says these are not whale teeth, fish teeth, or crocodile teeth. This is something on another level. His teeth are made to destroy, not merely to feed. So that's a spirit created for vengeance. His teeth are made to destroy. It's not made to feed, man. Like the rest of the beasts. So Leviathan is perfectly created to bring forth the judgment that the Lord's looking for. And he's probably going to have a lot of small hats down there to eat. Because who has money and capability to have some place to hide down there in the seawater, man? These are rich, elite people. That's why I went into Revelation, the 6th chapter. Showing you the great men, the rich men, they're going to be destroyed. Trying to hide from the Lamb. Job 41 and verse 15, his scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. So he got scales that are closed together as with a closed seal. Okay, Job 41, let's get that as a matter of fact. Next verse. scales are his pride, meaning Leviathan's armor-placed scales are the source of his power, confidence, and terror. So his scales are his pride, man. So your attempts to try to knock him down with missiles, they're probably gonna bounce off him, probably blow up, but not be ineffective against him. They will be ineffective against him. These scales represent defense, strength, and fearlessness. Shut up together with a closed seal. This describes Leviathan's scales fitting so tightly together that no spear can slip between them. No water or air penetrates between them. The armor is like welded plates. Closed seal is like a wax seal pressed tightly shut, airtight, and immovable. The Most High is showing Job there is no weak point. So there's nothing you could do against Leviathan. Job 41:16. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together that they cannot be sundered. So you can't even separate them and try to wedge something in there to try to hurt him. Okay, he's fully fortified for this battle, man. He's fully fit to do what he was created to do. Just like Yahweh Shai, he was perfectly made to do exactly what he came to do. And just like the elect, you're perfectly made to get through whatever the Lord about to put you through, man. Leviathan even got to go through it, man. He gonna have to fight too, but he got the victory. So how much more is he gonna do that for his elect? We gonna get the victory in our battles too. Okay. Job 41, verse 18. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Let's get that. Job 41, verse 18. Job 41, verse 18, meaning. By his neesings the light doth shine. Neesings equals sneezing, snorting. The Hebrew word is nisfa, which means the blast. When Leviathan snorts or exhales violently, sparks, light, or fire-like flashes appear. This shows his fiery nature, matching later verses where fire and smoke come out of his mouth. So he breathes fire, man. He's underwater breathing fire. You know how did he create? He was created to do this, man. How was that even possible? He's a fire breathing dragon. That's what the Lord created. And his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. This means his eyes shine like the morning light. His gaze pierces through darkness. When he rises from the sea, it's like the dawn breaking. The eyelids of the morning, the first rays of sunrise. So Leviathan's eyes glow brightly like a flame or supernatural light. This matches ancient descriptions of dragons having fiery eyes. Bugged out, man. Sounds crazy. The chariot sounds crazy. The strangeness of our salvation, it all sounds crazy. But, hey, man, it's true. It's true, man. It's true, man. The Lord gonna save us. It's gonna be a strange salvation, man. Okay. It's gonna be a scary thing. Going up in the chariots with the Lord, that's scary. Because you're gonna have to get through the thermonuclear destruction in order to get up there. So it tells you that the elect shall scarcely be saved. So that's a scary thing, man. Leviathan is a supernatural. We already know. Let's keep going. Job 41 and verse 19. Out of his mouth go burning lamps and sparks of fire leap out. mouth go burning lamps and sparks of fire leap out. Oh man. So the Lord fully equipped him with fire, armor. Okay, he's probably super intelligent. I wouldn't doubt it. His teeth are not like Chat said it, it's not for eating. It's for fighting, man. Okay? That's what he's created to do, man. He's not down here to eat all the time, man, and get comfortable. He's there to destroy you elites. That's what he's purposed to do. That's what he's fully created to do. To destroy you. He's for you. Job 41 in verse 20, out of his nostrils goeth smoke as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth, so he can breathe fire. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. Sorrow is turned into joy before him. So when he starts putting your sorrow is his joy. You screaming, don't kill me, don't eat me. Leviathan is burning you, you screaming, and he's happy about it. He's happy to see you burn, man. Okay? So I can only imagine what type of damage he's gonna do after he does that. Okay? So there's gonna be a lot of judgment going on here, especially when something like that is in the water. A lot of judgment. Job 41 and verse 23, the flakes of his flesh are joined together, they are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. The flakes of his flesh are firm together, they cannot be moved. Let's look that up. The flakes of his flesh. Job 41 and verse 23. Job 41 verse 23. It says, the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold. Hold on, that's not what I'm looking at. The sword, that's not what it says. It's going off. It's going off, whatever. It's pretty much the same what it already said, but I wanted to see why it said it twice. So, well, that was talking about his outer armor, his scales, which is outside on top of the flesh. So it's describing his flesh. It sounds like his flesh is strong like his scales. Job 41 and 23, the flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of the breakings, they purify themselves. Made me think of that the video with the Leviathan. Something was coming out of the water. He couldn't describe it. But you could tell they edited the video. So if they're editing the video, then Esau knows about a creature that's down there. Job 41, verse 25. Let's see if I can explain it better. It says, when he raises up himself with the mighty are afraid. Leviathan's very movement causes fear in all who see him, including the strongest warriors or leaders. And that was a scary sight when he saw that, man. Because it wasn't even his whole body. It was just a small piece of him, but it was massive. It was massive, man. Mighty refers to kings, soldiers, and men of strength, but all are powerless against a creature designed by God. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. Breakings or crushings refer to shock, trauma, or awe-inspiring force caused by Leviathan's presence. Purify themselves can be understood as becoming humble, turning aside in fear, preparing themselves spiritually or mentally. The mighty recognize their limits and are humble before the Lord's creations. You're damn right. You're gonna purify yourself, man. You're gonna humble your ass down when you see something like that. Oh, Shalom Malak Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatah. Yeah, man. You're gonna humble yourself down when you see Leviathan, man. And you're gonna know, you're gonna recognize the Lord, man. Only the Lord could have created something like that. You won't want to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua when you see Leviathan then it's too late. It's too late then. Job 41, verse 26, the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold the spear, the dart, nor the harbinger. That's the precept he gave me when I asked. Let's go there then. This verse continues the descriptions of Leviathan's invincibility. The Lord is emphasizing that all human weapons are completely ineffective against him. So there's nothing you can do against Leviathan when it comes down to it. Meaning no man can strike Leviathan with a sword and have it stick, wound, or penetrate. Cannot hold the sword, either bounces off, slides off, or fails to injure. So his missiles, his torpedoes, he might try to shoot at the beast. It's not gonna work. Okay. Leviathan's impenetrable. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass is rotten wood. So he'll tear through anything. He'll tear through iron like it's straw. He'll tear through brass like it's rotten wood. This beast is powerful, man. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. You can't make him flee. Sling stones are turned into stubble. It's like you're throwing stubble at him, man. Oh, how y'all doing today? Come talk to me today, man. How you doing? You know about the children of Israel?
Children of Israel?
Yeah. You heard about the Israelites? Who's salvation for? Who's salvation for?
Who's salvation for?
Yeah. Salvation's for people who follow Jesus Christ. Okay. Can I read something to you?
Yes.
It's the book of John, chapter 4. Verse 22. It says, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. So, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ was sitting at a well talking to the Samaritan woman at this time. Do you know why he said this to her? Because she's a Gentile, right? You would say that everyone can be saved, right? Well, this is the Lord speaking to a Gentile, and he's telling her salvation is of the Jews. So, do you know why he's saying that? Because salvation is of the Jews. So the Israelites were given the law, statutes, and commandments on Mount Sinai. He didn't do that with any other nation, right? So he made a covenant with the nation of Israel, right? So he didn't do that with anybody else. So when part of that covenant is salvation, because we broke the laws, we transgressed the laws that were given to us on Mount Sinai in Exodus, the 24th chapter. So after they came out of the wilderness, after Joshua, they went over to Jordan, they killed all the Canaanites. Salvation wasn't for them, right? Was Joshua going around saying, hey, salvation's for you while he was chopping them up with a sword? No. And then he established the kingdom. King David had 40 years of peace with King Solomon. Then that kingdom split between Jeroboam and Rehoboam. Then the Assyrians in 722 BC went and took out the northern kingdom, replaced them with the heathen nations. They never returned back to that land. Then you had the Jews. But that Samaritan woman, she's probably those heathen that came back into that land. So she was growing up in the land of Samaria thinking, I belong here. I've been here all this time, pretty much from 722 BC. And now we're all the way back in, it's around, what, 30, we'll say 25 AD, when the Lord finally, I don't know exactly, but it was years later, over 700 plus years later. So she's fully acquainted with that area. When you read up in the chapter, he basically tells her that the Jews have no doings with the Jews. So she kind of understood that with the Samaritans and the Jews didn't get along because they understood that they weren't Israelites. They understand they don't go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's a specific lineage. Are you a Mormon?
From the Church of Jesus Christ.
Okay, so you're a Mormon.
That's a nickname.
That's a nickname. So Brigham Young and what's his name? So you got a completely different book. You believe you're Zion. You think Utah's Zion, right? No? So please tell me.
I believe that Zion is, that's where they're coming people together. It's like less of a place, more together.
Okay. So I believe that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel. What's your nationality? What's your father?
My father?
Yeah.
Is this Chilean guy?
No, what's his nationality?
Oh, he's Chilean.
Chilean. So the Chileans, for example, all right, going back to nationality, you need to look this up. This covenant was made with your people. You might be an Israelite too. I don't know, because according to Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, these curses. If you mind, can I grab this real quick? I got some time for you, because this is who we out here for. The Israelites. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. All right, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that I will put all these curses upon, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. When you read Deuteronomy 28, 15, all the way down to 68, it goes into the reason why you're calling yourself Hispanic. There's no people in the Bible called Hispanic. You talk to an Arab person, he'll tell you, I go back to Ishmael in the Bible. You talk to an Iranian person, he goes, I go back to the Persians in the Bible. The so-called white man, he goes back to Esau in the Bible. And Esau sold his birthright to the nation of Israel, okay? Which was, he's supposed to be Jacob's older brother. But he sold his birthright to Jacob. Jacob was stirring up the pot, making some soup. He was coming from the field, he was hungry. A hunter. Mind you, Isaac is Abraham's son. So they were wealthy. Abraham was wealthy. Isaac was wealthy. Jacob and Esau were wealthy. Esau could have went and grabbed something to eat. But because he likes quick food, fast food, look at this, look at how he created this system. Everything's fast food. Because that's Esau. Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Esau would be ruling in the last days before the Lord returns and establishes the nation of Israel. Because the nation of Israel never came back to the land. Going back to 722 BC, when you read Second Esdras in the Apocrypha, do you read the Apocrypha at all? Okay, so the Apocrypha, you should read it because it goes into your family's history on how they came here to the Americas. The Mormons came here and they killed your people, okay? And it tells you in the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 4, you can't make a clean thing out of an unclean, okay? If you establish something on rape, rob, and murder, and then try to clean yourself up like, look at me, suit and tie. No, you're wicked. That's wickedness, and those sins need to be paid for. When you read the book of Numbers, the 35th chapter, it says, let me grab it real quick. And this is why we're destroyed as a people. Because all this school shit, that's Esau's knowledge. Our knowledge is the Lord. Romans, the 9th chapter says the covenants, the ordinances, all these things belong unto us. This worldly knowledge, that's for them. These religions, that's for them. This is all about Israel. You can't walk around and save the heathen. When you learn about the nation of Israel, they went into slavery under every single nation down here on the earth. Every single one of them. And this is the first time outside of ancient Egypt, when we came out of ancient Egypt, that we're back here in America, which is modern day Egypt again. We had two different histories. Y'all came here in 722 BC, you got kicked out of the land. In 70 AD is when we got kicked out of the land. And then we went into the inner parts of Africa and came here in 1619, fulfilling Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Let me grab that too while I'm here. You got to get this knowledge, brother. I'm sorry. You need to get it. Because we're coming to the time, man, if you ain't standing on the Lord, if you still calling him Jesus, the letter J was created in 1524 by Giorgio Trissino. Jesus is a man called Caesar Borgia. Okay? This was an actual man. You know who Caesar Borgia is? Cesare Borgia. So Cesare Borgia, when you go into Pope Alexander VI, he had a son. He died. And they made this image of him for the world to worship. But you're actually worshiping a man. He's an actual person that lived on the earth. That's an actual man. He's not the son of God. He's not a Hebrew. He's an Edomite that Esau wants you to worship. Let me grab this. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord thy God shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So they brought us into Egypt again with ships during the transatlantic slave trade. So Moses is telling them this. He's prophesying these curses upon us. If you break my law, statutes, and commandments, you're going to go to Egypt again. Egypt, according to Exodus 20 and 2, is the house of bondage. So he was going to bring you into bondage again. And this is where he brought us in bondage again. By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, talking about the land of Israel. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. So the nation of Israel has enemies. The nation, these people that's on the sign, they think everybody's their friend. And that's the problem with them. Okay? And it says, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now, we know that the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. Well, we have concordinances. We can go into the Hebrew. You don't have to go to school to go and download an app and look into the Hebrew word, and it shows you redeemed. No man shall redeem you. So we're here for a reason, because we sinned against the Lord. Micah 7 and 9 tells us we got to bear the indignation of the Lord because we have sinned against him. This law wasn't given to everybody else. Okay? So you from the tribe of Naphtali, if your father, because according to the Numbers, the first chapter, you are what your father is. Okay? But going back to the Mormons, don't let them deceive you, man. They might have opportunities for you, but this place is going to be destroyed. We're already at that time in Numbers, in Revelation, the 13th chapter. You know what the mark of the beast is? The mark of the beast? The mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is the RFID microchip that they put in cats and dogs. When the government mandates that and puts that into you, we're not supposed to do that. The world's going to do that because they lack understanding. When you lack understanding, that's what makes you a beast. What separates the nation of Israel from the rest of these nations is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. If they don't have this, they're like beasts. If you don't know who you are, if you still think you're Hispanic and things like that, you don't know who you are, brother. Proverbs 21 verse 16 says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So you're like a zombie, man. But then the breath of life gets you because the Lord set up men who he puts the Spirit, the Holy Spirit on them, to feed you with Jeremiah 3 and verse 15. Let me grab it for you. With knowledge and understanding. Okay, so it's important that you know who the Israelites are. And it's important that you repent, because the day is at hand when the Lord's going to come and destroy Babylon the Great. You know what Babylon is?
Babylon?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You heard of it. So back in the day, Babylon sacked the first temple. The first temple was destroyed. And the Edomites helped the Babylonians take down that temple. And then in 70 AD, who took down the temple in 70 AD? Do you know?
What's that?
Who destroyed the second temple?
Second temple?
Yeah.
Who did it?
Huh?
Who did it?
The Romans. 70 AD. Do you know what 70 AD is?
70 AD?
70 AD. Do you know what I'm referring to when I say 70 AD? So we gotta learn that. Matthew the 24th chapter, when so-called Jesus, his name is Yahweh Shai, by the way, when he came on the scene, he was describing a time where that place was going to be destroyed. And he was describing 70 AD, but he was also describing the end times. He was prophesying about the end times, because the disciples asked him, when is going to be the end of the world? And he was telling them. But he was looking at Jerusalem, he was looking at the temple. He said, not one stone shall be overthrown. Oh, every stone shall be overthrown, roughly paraphrasing. But he was talking about the Romans coming, because at the time the Romans were really good. But Rome fell, didn't it? Well, you know about the Daniel's Nebuchadnezzar's statue, the vision of Nebuchadnezzar. Well, Rome is built back up again. We're here, this is Rome 2.0. You ever heard of the Treaty of Rome?
What?
The Treaty of Rome.
Treaty of Rome, I have not.
So America is the Treaty of Rome. This is Rome 2.0. Okay, and the Lord's prophesied to come in this time, in the latter days. And the reason why we know that, because we understand prophecy. And prophecy is showing us the mark of the beast is already here. They're already taking the chip in Sweden, which is the RFID microchip. If you go into a Whole Foods market, they got these scanners, scan your palm. So they're already trying to implement the system that's showing you we're in those days. And the Lord always been prophesied about this. But this isn't for everybody. This is for the elect of Israel. When you read Revelation, the 7th chapter, 12,000 men for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why I was going into John 4, verse 22, asking him who is salvation for, and why the Lord said salvation is of the Jews. Now that's in the New Testament. If you go to the book of Isaiah 45, I don't mean to rush these precepts off to you, but if I can splash you with as much water as I can before I go, so you can look it up yourself, then that's all up to the Lord. But that's why I come out here, man, for people like you. Isaiah 45, verse 17. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. And when you look at that word world, it just doesn't mean the whole world. Okay, it means an age. So Israel's going to have an age that's never going to end. Every other age ended. You had the Assyrian Empire, that ended. The Babylonian Empire, that ended. The Greeks Empire, that ended. The Rome's Empire ended. Even though we're in the second leg of the Roman Empire now, it hasn't ended. The only kingdom that's going to last forever is the kingdom of Israel. Okay.
Thank you so much for sharing all that.
You're welcome, man.
We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's like I like to hear about like other religions, and
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
And what's your name?
I'm Rab Inap.
Rabana?
Rab Inap.
Rabana?
Rab Inap.
I know.
Inap, like Rab Inap.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
But I'm going to end it here. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakbadash, Shalom, Abad Babal, and Kwam Yasharala. You too.